The times when a person talking on a cell phone caused more surprise on the street than a Martian in a spacesuit are long gone. Now everyone has smartphones, from children to grandparents. In addition, tablets, laptops, smartwatches, fitness bracelets and much more have come into use. Anyway, now is the third decade of the 21st century. However, this does not prevent many myths that were born in the 90s and 2000s to exist to this day. Fortunately, they are not as dangerous as the myths about our body or nutrition, but they still often interfere with fully using gadgets or making the right choice when buying. To put an end to them once and for all, at least among our viewers, I have prepared a selection of the 5 most popular myths about gadgets that you probably continue to believe. Number 1. You cannot use the phone while it is charging. The smartphone gets very hot while charging. In theory, if the battery is defective, it could explode at that point. This is especially true for old smartphones and cheap non-original batteries. With the phone itself and its battery, nothing will happen if you read a message or check your email while it is charging. After all, the smartphone can always be disconnected from the charger in order to receive a call or perform some action. By the way, disconnecting the smartphone from the charger will not harm it either. On the contrary, manufacturers do not recommend charging phones to 100%. The battery will last longer if you charge it in small batches, but more often. Number 2. The number of megapixels of the camera affects the quality of the pictures. The number of megapixels of a camera speaks only of its resolution, that is, the number of dots per inch that make up the picture. In other words, the more pixels, the more theoretically you can enlarge the picture without losing quality. In fact, when we look at a photo, we do not estimate the number of points that the eyes still cannot see, but such parameters as brightness, sharpness, clarity, color depth. Of course, the number of megapixels does not affect them in any way. Number 3. Gadgets impair logic and memory in children. On the one hand, gadgets are really capable of impairing memory, but only for the reason that people are used to storing all information on devices, and not in their heads. A paper notebook can just as well impair memory. As for children, on the contrary, gadgets develop fine motor skills, which, as you know, have a positive effect on mental abilities. There are also many games and applications for children that develop logic and reaction speed. Finally, I note that smartphones and children's smartwatches allow parents to control the child, his route, location and even the environment around him. Therefore, the benefits from them are much more than harm. However, in everything it is necessary to observe the measure. If a child uses a computer, tablet or smartphone for days on end, it will end up with vision problems. Plus, gaming on a smartphone can become a bad. Number 4. In an airplane, the phone must be in airplane mode, otherwise it could lead to a plane crash. Flight attendants warn passengers to turn off smartphones for their own safety. The myth has come down to us since the 80s. At the time, telephones were found to interfere with radio communications, which could cause aircraft to drift off course. In modern aircraft, onboard equipment is no longer sensitive to telephones. In addition, even if you consider that a smartphone can cause communication interference, you only need to turn it off during flight and landing. The rest of the time you can use it. Only, there will be no signal, but you can track your location using GPS. Number 5. Smartphones can cause brain cancer. For this reason, many people try to use a headset or are afraid to put their smartphone at night near the bed. There have been many studies on this, but no confirmation has been found. The American Cancer Society tells about such studies. Moreover, the radiation from a smartphone is not powerful enough to somehow alter DNA. Therefore, scientists do not understand how a smartphone could cause cancer at all. By the way, the International Agency for Research on Cancer, which is a specialized body of the World Health Organization, also does not class phones as devices that can somehow affect the appearance of malignant cells.